It's the new show, Bishop Garage. Check out our merchandise, www.bishop-garage.com. In this episode, we'll be looking at a classic independently owned company and Dustin Kott and the Cafe Racer. And we aren't on about sitting down and drinking coffee. No, let's get out on the open road and celebrate the vintage racing influence. Let's see how they reach their main objective to simplify and bring functionality back into the antiquated machines. Also in this episode, we'll be having a chat with our man Dino and his new Jeep Wrangler Sahara truck conversion from its 100 bhp power upgrade to its newly fitted quad exhaust system, giving the Jeep a sturdy, tough guy look. Is he a tough guy? Well, let's find out. And now we're off to say hello to Adam Vandervolt and his dog Scooter Trash. Scoot in America. Are we off to Crufts, I hear you cry? No. We'll be following them on their journey across America, visiting all the Harley-Davidson dealerships in one run. Yes, straight through, straight across, every single one. What a feat! And you can see it all here on Bishop Garage.
There was a lot of motorcycles always in the family. My dad always had something laying around. I remember going to my grandparents' house as a kid, and they had all these old bikes stacked up in the backyard. I actually got one from my grandfather. It was a 1966 Honda S90. It was a great little bike. It was kind of one of the first bikes I started really getting my hands dirty on.
It's free. There's a ton of free pics. A lot of people post pics and all that stuff. And then there's like that 5% that are backpacks.
I looked around the garage and I realized in all these bins and boxes that there was enough here to actually put a motorcycle together. I'd spent so much time keeping my own bike on the road and familiarizing myself with it that it wasn't that difficult to do the first one. And the only difficult thing was thinking that there was some way to make a living at it, and especially after I first sold that one and profited nothing. But it too was a Honda 750. It was silver, and it was the first time where I really started mapping out bikes in my mind, picking colors, trying to see them finished. Because if I can visualize them, it's very easy to make it happen. Cafe racers and hot rods share a similarity, which is funny because being from America, my influence has a lot to do with hot rods, but it's taken the shape of another influence, which was European-style bikes. So it's the same concept. It's truly the same concept. I think hot rodding is the American version of cafe racers in England. It's the same concept. You take materials and old machines and you try to make something either custom or cool, whatever it is that you envision. It's really the lines that catch my eye. You know, growing up not being able to really afford British motorcycles and not really knowing where to find them, there was a million Hondas laying around, and all I wanted to do was I had to figure out some way to sort of replicate what it is that I fell in love with about these other machines. When bikes first show up at the shop, there's a lot of things that usually need to just be undone with them. And we usually strip about 50 pounds of useless garbage off the bikes, put it in a Rubbermaid bin, and do away with it. There is an evolution process that takes place because the idea is to create a machine that has only what it needs to exist, to work, to run, and what's left is just, it's just a shell, really. It's just a I don't know where you got them. I don't know how much they go for, because you just don't see them very often. So we'll find out. Or can you stick around long enough? Yeah. Okay, cool. You got no plans, dude. It's on. We're gonna be playing poker in there too. Yeah. Being similar to factory race bikes is designing a cockpit for the rider, more or less. You have typically your feet are higher up and further back. That's for cornering, to keep your toes from dragging down. You've got this cafe cowling, or this seat pan, that's designed so you don't slide off the back of the bike under acceleration. You've got, sometimes I'll do what I call knee cutaways on the tanks, or hand-pounded cutaways into the tanks for your knees to fit in. Your handlebars, clip-ons, are low and aggressive in front of you for improved cornering and handling and stability, and the quickness and the crispness of the turns with the shorter bars and things like that. What happens when you get down to the bare bones of the bike, literally it feels like it has a personality, like it's asking for a line to be created, and that's what cafes have. There's a uniform line, and it's funny because sometimes you can look at them and they almost have a bad posture to them. There's a real trick to this eclectic scene, and the biggest nemesis is the fact that you're working with a product, with a motorcycle that's vintage in all respects, and it really has taken years to develop good resources or vendors to find all the parts that we go through on these bikes, most of which some of which simply don't exist at all anymore. But I can think back fondly on road trips. My dad and I went out to all the way to New Mexico one time to buy a couple of these old Hondas, and throughout the years, it's funny, as the more you get involved with something, the more you kind of know where to go. You have these certain resources. I like to work fast. I like to work fast because I may have mentioned earlier, I'm just a little bit impatient with wanting to see something reach fruition, to get it out of my head and onto a bike, because you dream about it all day and you just want to see it done. I've always done it the same way. I never do the same thing twice, but as I'm going along, there's an evolution that takes place. It's to form this metal into what could be a motorcycle seat or whatever it is that needs to be designed. Even though you may be the one shaping it, it's a piece by piece kind of a thing. Except there's absolute beauty in that thought pattern, in that thought process. How to make it work with using your hands. Limited tooling, limited machinery. And you see how everything that's there is all that has to be there. There is no room for anything else. You can feel a spirit in that bike. Nothing ever happens. There's no two designs that are ever the same, so it's always a brand new experience with every bike. The passion that goes into not only building a personalized machine, but when you ride something that you've designed, when you've created your own cockpit, that's what I'm trying to do, is to create a more functional, elegant machine based upon what I was influenced from. I think it's just a different vibe. There's the burn. You're not gonna ever see this.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah,
but you know what?
I know.
That'll be perfect.
I know. You guys need to come down to Sugar Bears with us.
My name's Dino. I've got this Jeep Wrangler CTC Khan conversion. I've had it for less than 12 months as I like changing my cars. As you can see, we got huge modifications. Let's go through them. This Jeep Wrangler's engine 2.8 litre. As you can imagine, it's a heavy truck, heavy load. So to give us a bit of extra power, off from the traffic lights fast, what have we done? We've put a 100 bhp power upgrade unit into the engine. This now works perfectly for me, so traffic lights bang, off I go. The Jeep Wrangler from the back, for me, needed to look sturdy, so the quad exhaust system was the only thing to put on the back of this car. So instead of one tailpipe or maybe two, we've actually got 4 tailpipes at the back, making it look very strong. As you'll see, if you look really carefully at this Jeep, it's not actually white. It might look white, but it's actually a very different colour. It's satin white, which means it actually, if you've got nice sunshine, it's very pearlescent and you actually see it glistening off the sun. It's very unique. I'm led to believe or told it's the only one in the UK, and it's the whole car, you know, changes the outlook and look of it. Normally Wrangler seats are quite basic, they're cloth. What we've done here is I used to have a Bentley, so that seat's the most comfortable seat I've been in a car, so we've really copied that here. So they're very comfortable, and the red against the white car. So we've done the whole of the car. We've actually done the roll bars and everything like that. We've done the armrests. Here, everywhere we can see any seating or clothing, we've put leather in. We actually decided to put Khan aluminium pedals in, which just really finishes the car off. So looking at the tyres and what we've got on the alloys, one of the things people normally do is get the largest actual wheel, but if you're on sand or pebbles and you're by the beach as we are, what you really need is the width in terms of that tyre load. So we've got 17-inch alloys on the tyre, but a very heavy load. That means I can drive through sand, pebbles, stones, anything. The front of the car, I think, is always the most important part, so making it look like tough, strong as a Jeep should. We decided to go for the Ironman bonnet. It's got all the grooves in, it's a higher bonnet, and we've obviously got that in the black V, the satin white. The very front of the Jeep at night, once you get the lights on there, as you would imagine, we got LED lights at the front, and the beam is very strong, so if you're on the beach and it's dark, we can see. So finishing the car off, because it's all the satin white against the black, what we decided to do on the back lights is see if we could get that looking a bit black, so we've got the shadow lights where they've been, you know, darkened as much as you can. So sometimes in Spain, maybe twice a year, it actually does get very cold, so just in case, we've got a little button here which actually gives us nice heated seats. Maybe not needed, but maybe if it was in England.
I'm Adam Sandoval, and this is my dog Scooter Trash. We are traveling the country on our motorcycle, visiting every Harley-Davidson dealership in America in one run. In the process, we break 2 world records, the most important of which, the world's longest charity ride, where we raise money for our troops. This is Scootin' America.
1, 2, 3, 4.
By the time Adam is done with this trip, he'll have hit 702 Harley-Davidson dealerships across the country.
I've been creeping in the shadows with a wretched and I got to get away. Well, it's got me so afraid.
One of the biggest struggles in hitting all these dealerships is obviously Mother Nature, the weather. The weather has always been a struggle.
Yeah. Between the rain, the snow, the sleet, daytime, nighttime.
Heat, cold, wet, dry, no visibility, beautiful sunny days. There's a lot of days where I don't want to take the bike out because it's raining and he had to go through it.
Yeah, he was out there.
That's why I got to get away.
I've slept right next to this bike behind gas stations and churches parking lots, in farmers' fields and cow pastures, in between buildings of cities, anywhere you could imagine, anywhere I could park this bike just to get a night's sleep, to get up and start riding again.
He was just camping, motorcycle camping, putting the tarp off the side and
a nice little hooch and getting a mat and just sleeping on the stars. That's the best way to do it right there.
Got to get away. Well, it's got me so afraid.
Scooter was just running around, we patted him a little bit, and he just liked people, and he was a lot of fun.
I've been eating at the tables with the sinners, and I got to get away.
Whenever I think of the best motorcycle movie, I always think of Easy Rider.
Whenever I think of the craziest motorcycle stuntman, go straight to Evel Knievel.
And the greatest all-time traveling motorcyclist has got to be Adam and Scooter.
When it comes to travel, it's Adam and Scooter.
Definitely Adam and Scooter.
It would be Adam and Scooter.
Adam and Scooter.
Adam and Scooter.
I got to get away. I didn't say it before I could walk.
But it's not all about the travel. There's much more to this. Scootin' America is about the military. It's about helping our military and supporting them. We've raised over $250,000 so far that we've donated to children of fallen soldiers and to soldiers suffering from PTSD. After the work for charity, people ask me what is my next favorite thing about this trip, and the answer is very simple. It's the people. It's the American bikers, and all the bikers for that matter, foreign alike, that I've met and shared the road with. To date, I think I've shared the road with more motorcyclists than any person walking this planet. On October 2nd, when I roll into Battlefield Harley-Davidson in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, I will have successfully ridden to every Harley-Davidson dealership in America.
I've been creeping in the shadows with a wretched and I got to get away. I've been creeping in the shadows with a wretched and I got to get away. Well, it's got me so afraid. That's why I got to get away. I've been eating at the tables with the sinners and I got to get away. Well, it's got me so afraid. That's why I got to get away. My daddy said before I could walk, well I could put near rock and roll. He never said that before I could rest, I'd have to learn to dig my own.
Well, that's another episode drawing to a close. And what a journey from LA to Spain and a dog. Bishop Garage, the new kid on the block. Don't worry, I'm not going to start singing. Well, not yet anyway. You know what they say? When in doubt, throttle it out. This is Bishop Garage, over and out. It's the new show, Bishop Garage. Check out our merchandise, www.bishop-garage.com.